Hello, Pisces. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. And at the bottom, you can see it's illustrated by Mark Evans. Can I read that? Evans. Yep. Okay, cool. Just realized I have things all over the place. Supportive Oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stephanie DeMarco. Nope, Stacy DeMarco. Stacy DeMarco. She has other decks too. I know she has a Halloween Oracle, I want to say. So if you want to find those artists or anything else they've created, there's how you spell their names and all that good stuff. Alright, Pisces. Pisces. I don't know why. I'm already starting off like... so... And like I always say, I'm a Pisces too, but I don't know. Sometimes they match for me. Sometimes they don't. 'Cause, the general reads, you never know. You just got to kind of go with your gut. Is this for me? Is this not for me? A lot of possibilities. And it is reminding me of myself a little bit. Like sometimes I got to remind myself, if you want something, move towards it. Like make some movement. You know what I mean? Don't just sit there and think about it. If you want it to actually happen, you're going to have to make it happen. Because I think that's a Pisces, like any of the muted signs, well, not so much for Sagittarius, but like Pisces, Virgo, and Gemini, especially Pisces and Gemini to be fair, moving forward, choosing something and going forward makes a huge difference. If you don't start moving, it's not going to happen. What are we getting into here? Because I feel like there's possibilities. There's the Eight of Cups here, right? But it feels like it's kind of like I've had ideas before. I've had possibilities before. These things don't work out. So why am I taking the time here to really give this too much thought when I've tried this? I've planned it out. I've tried to go towards these things, and they just fall flat. There's something here you want to happen, and it's just kind of like, I've tried. I keep going towards it. And every time I think it's going to work out, I only get so far, then bam, right flat on my face. And I don't like face planting. It's just, it feels very uncomfortable, and I don't enjoy it. Not to make it very bland, but seriously, who likes to fall flat on their face? Most people don't. So this is what we're starting with. Like, yeah, I got possibilities, but how far can these possibilities really go? It's kind of like, I don't really know if I have it in me again to believe that there's a chance. But, like, the universe is saying, listen, you're getting closer. You're getting better. What's not working, you're starting to figure that out. We're trying to show you what's not working out. Don't give up. Keep going. Give it another try. There is something here that's not quite hitting right, but every time you get a little closer, and one of these times you're meant to get it. Maybe this time will be it. We can't guarantee anything, but it's like you're coming around this circle again. You're going around it again. You're going to try it again. They're like, try. We're going to try to show you what's not working so you can work around it and not get stuck in something that's not worth your time. But you got to try. You got to work with us. Whatever it is that you're feeling like, I try, and I've tried it many, many times, and it never quite works out. Why should I bother? The universe is saying, because you're getting better, you're going to make it. One of these times is your time. It's just, whatever's not working, we're trying to show you what's not working so you can correct that and make this better. The universe is also saying, I feel like when I'm getting the other card, the environment card, it's kind of saying nothing's happening here unless you make it happen. You got to go towards it. It's kind of like, you want a bunch of money, you got to at least buy a lottery ticket. You got to move forward towards it. You got to get out of the house and start searching it out and go get the money. You know what I mean? If you want whatever you want, a relationship, whatever it is, you got to step forward and start that energy. Get that energy out there. Get it moving. Get it churning a little bit. The universe is, I feel like this is literally the universe, like whatever you want to say for the universe, that's why I'm using that. It's not going to just happen. It's not going to just happen. You got to start searching it out. You got to start looking under those rocks. I don't know, but a lot of times I do these readings and I think, like, if somebody said this to me, how would I react to that? for some reason I kind of like that, because I'm kind of like, yeah, if I'm not looking for it, I don't want it showing up. I'm kind of that person though. That's everybody's different, but for me, I'm like, yeah, if I'm not looking for it, I don't need it. Don't come knocking at my door unless I've asked you to come over. I'm one of those people, for whatever that means. So I personally am okay with that. I don't know. I feel like the energy's okay. Kind of like if I'm not really in the mood for it, don't bring it my way anyway. So it seems like they're saying we won't. But if you want it, get that energy churning. Get it going. You don't have to go crazy and like put in, it's so much effort. But just start the energy going, and we'll work with you. Cool. So it takes a minute for you to decide you actually want to do this, and then it's like you're balancing that energy out with the Two of Pentacles. There's a lot coming in here at once, and that energy is hard to. It's hard to really commit to at first, because it's kind of like, well, if I give it another shot, there is possibility it could go well. Who knows? I do improve. It's almost like if I look back, it's like, well, if I start back like 20 years ago, and then I look back 15 years ago, and I look back 10 years ago, and I look back 5 years ago, I can see the progression. So I can see that I am making it a little better, and I don't have patience for some ridiculousness that I used to. So there's a chance here. So you're kind of like at this, and the same token, like, but yeah, I don't really have the best track record with this situation, whatever it is. I don't know if I want to do this again. You got fear here kind of holding you down. It's kind of like I feel like you're very honest with yourself, and you're like, yeah, I see the progression, but do I see enough to really trust that this next time can be worth it? When I'm seeing the fear card, it's definitely fear-based, and they're kind of saying shift your perspective just a little bit. And go back and look at these same things, and while they were good, how good were they? And like, how much did you enjoy them? But also, if you were going to look back and be like, I should have protected myself this way a little bit more from this, or I should have protected myself this way a little bit more from that. If you were going to say something to yourself 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, what advice would you give? Like, enjoy this, but protect yourself in what way? Enjoy this, but protect yourself in what other way? Like, how would you have protected yourself so that even though the situation maybe didn't work out optimally, totally optimal, it did have some good parts, how would you have protected yourself to still enjoy it, but not had the detriment that you didn't want? Okay. Because I see you looking back, and you're kind of like, it's the Four of Cups, which is good. Because the Four of Cups tells me there's mostly is good here. This is mostly good, but there's pieces of here. The parts you don't like, you really don't like. So it's kind of like, how do I get around that? How do I still enjoy, but protect myself? That way I can give this a chance. I can give this a shot. It can still be good, but I'm still like, in case it doesn't go well, like it hasn't many times over, I'm still going to be like, okay, I'm still fine. I gave it a shot. I enjoyed what I could, but I'm still fine. That's, I feel like, where you need to get to next. In this, depending on where you are in the story. I mean, not for nothing. These are general reads. And I know some people are like, they come at it like, oh, this happened last year. Or like, oh, yeah, I'm halfway through this. Or yeah, I think this has just started. Or yeah, I think this is just ending. So use that as you need to. Because it might be a review thing. It might be something like that. Like you're reviewing it after it happened and like looking back and doing that self-audit thing. This energy in the universe. Is that the moon? Yep. The moon, which just is a beautiful moon card with that lady. She looks so wonderful to me. That looks so cool. I just think she looks so awesome. And the patience card here. There's a moon up in the other side here. So it kind of has like, so like I feel like the universe wants to work with you on this. Okay? So you got patience with the moon, kind of like, it's almost like you need to know what you want. You need to be very strong and stable and decide, this is what I want. Because whatever this subject is that you keep having difficulties with, I feel like is a very open energy here. Like, I'm one of the people that I do believe in charted lives. I do. But I also believe that it's not all charted, and it's subjective to the person. From the first breath to the last breath, it could be anywhere from 10% of that is charted to 90% of that is charted. It depends on, your life. I mean, it's different for everybody, but that's how I view it, just to be fair. And what I'm getting with this subject, most of it is not. Like, for example, some people come into life and they're like, there's certain relationships they're going to have, and that's just how it is. Other people come into life and it's completely an open thing. Like, it may or may not happen depending how you go forward. I feel like a lot of people have like at least one or two relationships that, like romantic relationships that are already charted. Not always. I know that may sound confusing, but the point is, I just want to address people who think like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen energy. Because sometimes it's like, well, not always. That's not always the case. Sometimes that is true, sometimes it's not. And they're saying if you're connecting to this reading and you're feeling this subject, whatever you're into, whatever you're looking at, this is not. This is open. And you have to define it. And you have to say what you want and what you're expecting to come forward. So whatever it is, you got to like, I would write it down what you really want and start expecting that to come forward. Like if it's something business-wise, I want a job that I can work X amount of hours and make X amount of pay and have this type of people I work around. There you go. There's a lot of energy here. It's very good, but it's kind of like, I feel like we have to get across the bump. Like we have to really get across that bump so we can get into a gooder energy. Yeah, okay. A better energy. A better energy. I swear, my grandmother was a school teacher. She would not be impressed with that. We got the Knight of Swords. You're coming in. You're like, you are defining this. What I'm worried about is like, don't look at this with the glass half empty. Don't expect it to go wrong. If you start expecting it or pulling in something that's wrong to begin with, you're going to get something that's wrong. You've got a lot of power here. Make sure what you're pulling in you actually love. Don't worry about if you deserve it or if it's possible or whatever. What do you want? Like, keep it on what you want and start looking for what you actually want, not what you think the world will allow you to have. I think that's the catch-22. Be careful to look for what you want, not what you believe the world will let you have. Be careful of that. Because the power is here. Seems like another moon card to me because a huge moon is behind this lady. The power is here. The power is yours. It's coming forward. It's going to be there. You're deciding what you want. High Priestess, 5 of Cups, and the assessing is in the environment. It's like the universe is saying, we're listening, we're watching. Don't start creating something that has like a shelf life. You know, don't start looking at something expecting it to end such a way. Like, don't, you know what I mean? Don't, like, if you're trying to create a relationship, don't already say like, and when it ends, I want it to end like this. Don't do that to yourself, because you're going to pull something forward that's going to have a shelf life. Don't do that. Just be careful of that, unless that's something you truly want. Because I'm getting the 5 of Cups, like in the energy coming towards you, like, be careful, because it's literally going to come forward the way you want it to. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like, be careful of what you're asking for. It's kind of like, be careful what you're asking for, because you just might get it. This could be very much one of those situations. And I apologize if you can hear my dog. He's fine. It's nice outside, and he doesn't like it when I talk to the camera and don't take him outside. So he's fine, I promise you. Just in case you can hear him, because he's very dramatic. It's how he wears me down and gets what he wants. The path is coming. It's coming forward. It's moving forward. The 3 of Wands, and you got the King of Cups coming in. Now, this doesn't have to be relationship-wise. It's whatever the subject is for you, but I'm getting it is coming in. It's coming in very strong, and something is coming forward. It's not coming forward in 2 seconds, because there's definitely a delay coming in, but you will be getting what you want. It's something that's coming out that you're not going to see it coming. And I feel like whatever the opportunity is, I don't see it like expecting you. That's interesting. Whatever the situation is, you are going to come into it and it is going to match you, but I don't see it like expecting you. Something is not expected. It's kind of like you're almost a new energy to this. Whatever the situation is, like, if there's people involved, I'm getting you're more than likely not going to have that kindred soul feeling where you feel like you've known somebody forever, whatever type of situation it is, like if it's a business situation or whatever it is. Like it seems like it's a dawn of a whole new day. I know it's the new moon. Is it the new moon? The long night, darkness, because it feels like the new moon to me, the way that the strength of the light is around the moon. Especially on the one side, it's got a little bit more light. Something new is being created here. Something new that could last a long time, but it's in its beginning stages. Is it called the Alchemist? No, it's the Magician in this. Okay, so it's the Magician with the Page of Pentacles. Something is coming in and it's just starting, but it could create a lot more from this. Even when it starts, be careful of your thoughts. Keep yourself together. What do I want this to become versus what this could become? This reminds me of people who start, and this doesn't have to be a relationship, but it reminds me of this type of thing. When people get into relationships and they start wanting to do everything for their partner, and they want to do the cooking, they want to do the cleaning, they bend over backwards. Anytime their partner tries to help them, no, I don't have it, it's fine, you don't have to do that for me. Don't do for me, I want to do for you. They get into this habit. It's a very bad habit to start because a couple months go down the road and then that person that they're with is expecting that to continue. Meanwhile, you've kind of moved on from that energy, like, okay, now I'm ready for you to do for me. But it starts a bad energy. You want to start off right from the beginning how you want it to be. If you want somebody to communicate with you very honestly, you have to communicate with them very honestly, and you got to get that going. You know what I mean? If you want to do when it's optimal, you're like, I want to do 50% of the work. I want them to do 50% of the work. Start right off in the beginning that way. You know what I mean? However you want it to be, because that's how it's going to stay. This comes in quick too. There's a lot coming in very fast, and the Six of Cups is like the history of what you've been through is definitely weighing on you, because it comes in when it does come in. It's almost like walking through a desert, and all of a sudden you turn a corner around a mountain, and there's this big giant forest. It's like, okay, it's here. And it's here. Like it comes in like really quick. The history of what you've gone through is going to weigh on you very heavily. Like, yeah, I've seen these forests before. There's bees and snakes and wasps in there, and I know all these things are going on. It looks great, and there's a lot of good things there, but I know that there's drawbacks. Be careful of that. Take what you've learned and keep your eyes open. You know, if you've been stung by bees before, if you hear the buzzing, you stay away from the bees, right? Snakes, you know that like in thick grass or you can't see in the grass, you know what type of things they're attracted to. You kind of stay away from those things. You look a little extra closer. Don't just expect it to be there and like you're subject to that being there. Remember what it was that kind of alerted you to that being there beforehand and keep an eye out. This is a great situation, but it's a lot about be careful what you're expecting and like one of the things you like want to expect is like you're going to see the red flags before they're a problem. It's kind of like if you see a red flag 2 miles down the road, you're like, before that red flag gets here, let me prepare for that. You know, before it even becomes a thing, before it even becomes a problem, let's just deal with it before it's even a problem. The Sun card is here. It's a really good thing, but it's saying once you get to this point, you got the Void with the Seven of Cups. What do you want to come next? Keep it in your control. What do you want to come next? And keep that control with you. Don't just be subject to what's coming at you like, well, this is what I got. Don't do that. This is a situation where when you get that part and it's a good moment, be aware of where you're heading next and keep it in your control. This is what I want to have next. What type of red flags do I have to look out for? Let me see if this is the right situation for where I want to go. There's a lot of energy here, but there's a lot of nervous energy here, which tells me you kind of have to stay on point with it and realize that this is very much in your control. Don't subject yourself to like, well, this is what the world will allow me to have. Be very, very mindful of that and don't let that happen to you. Is there anything else I need to say with this? It basically seems like you could go into a very good period of time here, point of your life. The energy is kind of sticking and going, so it does very highly depend on you staying alert and keeping yourself like expecting the best and not allowing yourself to just fall into old habits. All right, this is what history has taught me. I'm going to keep an eye out for that and not allow that to happen, but I'm going to keep being hopeful to get the best outcome here. It's something to balance out here. I feel like the people that this is really going to make a difference for, I feel like I feel like it will make sense. And yet it's kind of stick and go, and like it's like gets stuck and then it moves forward and it gets stuck and it moves forward. But the whole thing is not repeating the past. It's kind of like there's a loop coming up, and it's kind of like with this time around the loop, I'm hoping to like turn it into a spiral and start doing better with it, or at least like maybe I can just break this loop. Maybe I can break the circle, because once you break the circle, it's no longer a circle; it's a line, right? So take this line somewhere else, and that's what we want to do. We want to break that circle and take this in a better direction and get what we really want out of the situation. And maybe this is that time. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.